This study examines the global prevalence of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. It also analyzes the correlation between STD rates and relationship commitment levels worldwide. The research incorporates an epidemiological approach to understand STD distribution. Religious context is considered as a potential factor influencing both STD prevalence and relationship dynamics. The analysis aims to provide insights into public health strategies and preventative measures. The study seeks to identify potential cultural and societal influences on sexual health outcomes. This report analyzes the relationships between several key factors on a global scale. The primary focus is on the correlation between sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The report also examines the influence of relationship commitment levels. Religious influences are considered as another significant variable in this analysis. The study aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of these interconnected elements worldwide. The methodology involves compiling data from reputable sources. Data sources include the WHO, World Health Organization. Data sources also include the CDC, Centers for Disease Control. National health organizations are also used as data sources. Statistical analysis is then performed on the compiled data. The statistical analysis aims to identify correlations within the data. Relationship commitment can be defined across a spectrum of exclusivity and involvement. Medium commitment is represented by exclusive dating relationships. Low commitment is characterized by casual dating scenarios. Very low commitment is often associated with hookup culture. The continent of focus is Africa. The map animation highlights the geographical location of Africa. Nigeria is identified as the most populated country within Africa. The animation emphasizes Nigeria's position on the African continent. This visualization provides a clear understanding of population distribution in Africa. This data represents the prevalence rates of specific STDs in Nigeria. The STDs included are chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. Prevalence rates are categorized by commitment level, which may refer to different demographic or behavioral groups. A bar chart visually compares the prevalence rates of each STD across the different commitment levels. Analyzing this chart can reveal trends and disparities in STD prevalence within Nigeria. Data analysis in Nigeria reveals a correlation between relationship commitment and STD rates. Specifically, higher STD rates are observed in relationships characterized by low commitment. The highest STD rates are found in relationships with very low commitment levels. This suggests a potential link between relationship stability and sexual health risks. Further research is needed to understand the underlying factors contributing to this trend. Nigeria's population is predominantly Christian and Muslim. Religious teachings in Nigeria often promote abstinence before marriage. These religious values significantly shape societal norms and behaviors. This influence impacts various aspects of life, including relationships and family values. Traditional courtship practices in Nigeria emphasize family involvement and community values. Modern dating apps offer a contrasting approach, prioritizing individual choice and convenience. This juxtaposition creates diverse dating experiences across different demographics. Traditional methods often lead to quicker commitments and arranged marriages. Dating apps can extend the period of exploration, potentially delaying long-term commitment. The influence of both styles impacts expectations and relationship dynamics in Nigeria. Asia is a continent characterized by diverse geography and demographics. India is located in South Asia. India is the most populous country in Asia. India's large population significantly contributes to Asia's overall demographic profile. Understanding India's geographical location is crucial for grasping regional dynamics. Population distribution and density vary across different regions within Asia. The data visualizes the prevalence rates of various STDs in India. The STDs considered are HIV, HPV, and herpes. Prevalence rates are categorized by commitment level. A bar chart is used to represent the prevalence rates for each STD and commitment level. The chart allows for a comparison of STD prevalence across different commitment levels in India. Data analysis from India reveals a notable trend. The data suggests a link between commitment levels and the prevalence of STDs. Lower commitment appears to correlate with an increased incidence of STDs. This correlation does not establish a direct causal relationship. Further research is needed to understand the underlying factors driving this trend. India's cultural landscape is significantly shaped by religious beliefs and practices. Hinduism is the predominant religion in India, influencing various aspects of life. Traditional values, deeply rooted in religious teachings, play a crucial role in social norms. Arranged marriages are a common practice, reflecting traditional family structures and values. Social interactions are often guided by religious and cultural norms, emphasizing controlled interactions. Religious influence extends to various facets of Indian society, including family, social interactions, and cultural practices. Traditional arranged marriages remain a significant cultural practice in India. Dating apps are increasingly popular, reflecting a shift towards individual choice. Westernized dating norms are also influencing relationship dynamics among urban youth. This creates a diverse landscape of dating styles, blending tradition and modernity. Europe is a continent characterized by a diverse array of countries. Population distribution varies significantly across the European continent. Russia is the most populous country in Europe. A map animation highlights Russia's geographical location within Europe. The animation emphasizes the vastness of Russia's territory. This visualization aids in understanding population concentrations in Europe. The data visualizes the prevalence rates of specific STDs in Russia. The STDs included are trichomoniasis, hepatitis B, and mycoplasma genitalium. Prevalence rates are analyzed across different commitment levels within the population. The data is presented in a bar chart format for easy comparison. Each bar represents the prevalence rate of a specific STD within a particular commitment level. This allows for a clear understanding of STD distribution across various segments of the Russian population. Data indicates a correlation between relationship type and STD prevalence in Russia. Higher STD rates are observed within casual relationships compared to committed partnerships. This suggests a potential link between relationship stability and safer sexual practices. Casual relationships may involve less consistent condom use or partner communication. Committed partnerships often imply greater trust and shared responsibility for sexual health. These findings highlight the importance of safe sex practices regardless of relationship type. Russia is predominantly Orthodox Christian. Secularization has reduced religion's impact on dating. Religious factors play a less significant role in relationship formation. Traditional religious customs have diminished in dating practices. Dating in Russia is characterized by a blend of traditional values and modern influences. Traditional values often emphasize courtship rituals and respect for elders. Modern, westernized dating practices are also increasingly common, especially in urban areas. This creates a unique dating environment that combines both old and new customs. The most populated country in North America is the United States. North America is a continent in the Northern Hemisphere. The United States is located in North America. The map displays the geographical location of the United States within North America. This data visualizes the prevalence rates of common STDs in the United States. The chart compares chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis infection rates. Data is categorized by commitment levels, offering comparative insights. The visualization highlights trends and differences in STD prevalence across different groups. The United States is experiencing a notable increase in sexually transmitted disease, STD rates. This increase is particularly significant among individuals engaged in low-commitment relationships. Data analysis reveals a correlation between relationship commitment levels and STD transmission rates. Further investigation is needed to determine the underlying factors contributing to this trend. The United States exhibits a diverse religious landscape. This religious diversity leads to varying degrees of influence on sexual behavior. Different religious beliefs and values shape attitudes and norms related to sexuality. These influences can impact individual choices and societal perspectives on sexual behavior. The United States exhibits a diverse spectrum of dating styles. These styles range from conservative, religiously oriented approaches to more liberal ones. Casual hookup culture represents one end of the dating spectrum. More traditional dating practices, often influenced by religious beliefs, represent the other. Regional and cultural differences contribute to the variety of dating norms across the country. This wide range reflects the diverse values and social attitudes present in American society. South America is a continent located in the Western Hemisphere. Brazil is the most populous country in South America. Brazil occupies a significant portion of the continent's landmass. Its population contributes significantly to South America's overall demographics. This bar chart depicts the prevalence rates of various STDs in Brazil. The STDs included are HPV, HIV, and herpes. Prevalence is categorized by commitment level. The chart allows for a comparison of STD rates across different commitment levels within Brazil. This analysis focuses on the correlation between casual dating and STD rates in Brazil. Casual dating may involve multiple partners and inconsistent protection. Higher rates of STDs could be associated with increased casual dating activity. Data analysis aims to identify potential links and patterns. Understanding this correlation is crucial for public health initiatives and awareness campaigns. Brazil's population is predominantly Catholic. Religious teachings traditionally hold significant influence. A core tenet promoted is abstinence, particularly before marriage. This religious influence shapes societal norms and values. These values impact various aspects of life, including personal choices and family structures. Brazil's dating scene is influenced by a blend of traditional and modern values. Traditional Catholic values coexist with more liberal dating practices. This creates a unique and diverse dating environment. Understanding this cultural context is key to navigating relationships in Brazil. Australia is a country and continent located in the Southern Hemisphere. It is the most populated country on the Australian continent. Australia is surrounded by the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Its geographical location is unique due to its isolation and size. The data visualizes the prevalence rates of several STDs in Australia. The STDs included are chlamydia, gonorrhea, and trichomoniasis. Prevalence rates are analyzed across different commitment levels. Commitment levels likely refer to different levels of engagement in prevention or treatment programs. The bar chart format allows for a clear comparison of prevalence rates between the STDs. The chart aims to provide insights into the burden and distribution of these infections in the Australian population. Data analysis in Australia reveals a correlation between relationship commitment and STD rates. Higher STD rates are observed in less committed relationships. This suggests a potential link between relationship dynamics and sexual health risks. Less committed relationships may involve less stringent adherence to safe sex practices. Multiple partners and inconsistent condom use could contribute to increased STD transmission. Public health initiatives should target education on safe sex practices within various relationship contexts. Australia's population is predominantly Christian. Secularization is contributing to a decline in religious adherence. This decline reduces the influence of religion on various aspects of life. Dating practices are one area where religious influence is diminishing. Australia's dating culture is largely secular. It is significantly influenced by Western dating trends. This influence shapes the norms and expectations in relationships. Dating is generally approached in a casual and open manner. Individual preferences and lifestyles play a key role in dating practices. Antarctica is unique among the continents due to its lack of a native population. The continent's primary inhabitants are researchers and support staff. These individuals are stationed at various research facilities. These research stations are the only permanent settlements on the continent. The absence of indigenous populations distinguishes Antarctica from other continents. Antarctica presents unique challenges for data collection and analysis. The continent lacks a native population, which skews typical demographic data. Its primary function as a research environment further distinguishes it from other regions. These factors render many standard data sets inapplicable to Antarctica. Traditional socioeconomic indicators are not relevant in this context. Therefore, Antarctica requires specialized data collection and analytical approaches. This animation visualizes the rates of STD increases across the United States. The data is presented on a state-by-state basis. A map of the United States is used to highlight these varying rates. Each state is colored or shaded to represent its specific STD increase rate. The animation shows the changes in these rates over a period of time. This visual representation helps to identify trends and areas of concern regarding STD prevalence. California has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The STDs with notable increases include chlamydia. Gonorrhea rates have also risen in California. Syphilis is another STD showing increased incidence. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. Texas exhibits increasing rates of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Notable STD increases include chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates are also on the rise in Texas. Syphilis infection rates contribute to the overall STD increase. Florida has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Reported cases of chlamydia have risen in Florida. Gonorrhea infection rates are also increasing in Florida. Syphilis cases have shown a marked increase in Florida as well. Specific percentage increases for each STD are available in the data. New York State has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates have also shown a marked increase. Syphilis infection rates are contributing to the overall STD surge. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. These data points highlight a growing public health concern in New York. Pennsylvania has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates have also increased in Pennsylvania. Syphilis infection rates show an upward trend as well. These increases are quantified by specific percentage changes in reported cases. Public health initiatives are likely needed to address these rising STD rates. Illinois is experiencing increasing rates of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates a rise in chlamydia infection rates within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates are also showing an upward trend in Illinois. Syphilis infection rates are contributing to the overall STD increase. Specific percentage increases are available for each of these STDs in Illinois. Ohio has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The STDs with noted increases include chlamydia. Increases were also noted in cases of gonorrhea. Syphilis rates have also risen in Ohio. Specific percentage increases for each STD were recorded. Georgia is experiencing increasing rates of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates a rise in chlamydia infection rates within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates are also on the rise in Georgia. Syphilis infection rates are contributing to the overall increase in STDs. Specific percentage increases are recorded for chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. North Carolina is experiencing increasing rates of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates a rise in cases of chlamydia. There is also a documented increase in gonorrhea infection rates. Syphilis cases are likewise on the rise in North Carolina. Specific percentage increases are available for each STD. These percentage increases reflect the growing concern for public health officials. Michigan has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates have also increased in Michigan. Syphilis infection rates are also on the rise. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. These increases highlight a public health concern in Michigan. New Jersey has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Reported cases of gonorrhea have also increased in New Jersey. Syphilis infection rates show a similar upward trend. Specific percentage increases are available for each STD. Virginia has experienced increases in STD rates. Chlamydia rates have increased by a specific percentage. Gonorrhea rates have also increased by a specific percentage. Syphilis rates have similarly risen by a specific percentage. Washington State has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Reported data indicates rising rates of chlamydia infections. There has also been a documented increase in gonorrhea infection rates. The state has seen a rise in syphilis infection rates as well. Specific percentage increases for each STD are available in the data. Arizona has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia. There is also a noted increase in gonorrhea cases. Syphilis infection rates have also risen in Arizona. The increases are quantified by specific percentage increases. These percentage increases reflect a growing public health concern. Massachusetts has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia. There is also a noted increase in gonorrhea infection rates. Syphilis infection rates have also increased in Massachusetts. These increases are quantified by specific percentage changes in reported cases. Tennessee has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates have also increased in Tennessee. Syphilis infection rates are also on the rise. Specific percentage increases are available for each of these STDs. Indiana is experiencing increasing rates of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates a rise in chlamydia infection rates within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates are also showing an upward trend in Indiana. Syphilis infection rates are contributing to the overall increase in STDs. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. Maryland has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The increase rates include chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates have also risen in Maryland. Syphilis infection rates have similarly increased. Specific percentage increases for each STD are available. Missouri has experienced increases in STD rates. Chlamydia rates have risen in Missouri. Gonorrhea infection rates are also up. Syphilis cases have seen a percentage increase. Specific percentage increases are available for each STD. Colorado has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Reported data indicates rising rates of chlamydia infections. There is also evidence of increased gonorrhea infection rates within the state. Syphilis infection rates have also risen in Colorado. Specific percentage increases for each STD are available in the data. Wisconsin has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates have also shown a marked increase in Wisconsin. Syphilis infection rates are contributing to the overall STD increase in Wisconsin. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. These data points highlight a growing public health concern in Wisconsin. Minnesota has experienced increases in STD infection rates. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates have also increased in Minnesota. Syphilis infection rates are also on the rise in the state. South Carolina has experienced increases in STD rates. Data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates have also increased in South Carolina. Syphilis infection rates are also on the rise. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each STD. These increases highlight a public health concern in South Carolina. Alabama has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates rising rates of chlamydia infections within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates have also shown a marked increase in Alabama. The incidence of syphilis infections is on the rise in Alabama as well. Specific percentage increases for each STD are available in the data. These increases highlight a growing public health concern in Alabama. Louisiana is experiencing increasing rates of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates a rise in chlamydia infection rates within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates are also showing an upward trend in Louisiana. Syphilis infection rates contribute to the overall increase in STDs. Specific percentage increases for each STD are recorded in Louisiana's health data. Kentucky is experiencing increasing rates of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Notable STD increases include chlamydia. Gonorrhea rates are also on the rise in Kentucky. Syphilis infection rates are increasing within the state as well. Oregon has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. There is also a noted increase in gonorrhea cases within the state. Syphilis infection rates have also risen in Oregon. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. These increases highlight a public health concern in Oregon. Oklahoma has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates of chlamydia infections within the state. There has also been a documented increase in gonorrhea cases in Oklahoma. Additionally, rates of syphilis infections are on the rise in Oklahoma. Specific percentage increases for each STD are available in the data. Connecticut has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates have also increased in Connecticut. There is a reported increase in syphilis infection rates as well. The data includes specific percentage increases for each of these STDs. These increases highlight a public health concern in Connecticut. Utah has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The increase includes chlamydia infection rates. Gonorrhea infection rates have also risen in Utah. Syphilis infection rates have increased as well. Specific percentage increases for each STD are available. Iowa has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The STDs with notable increases include chlamydia. Gonorrhea rates have also risen in Iowa. Syphilis infection rates are also increasing. Specific percentage increases for each STD are recorded. Nevada, designated as State 32, exhibits notable increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data points indicate rising rates for chlamydia infections within the state. Similarly, gonorrhea infection rates are also increasing in Nevada. The data further reveals a rise in syphilis infection rates. Specific percentage increases for each STD are documented in the data. Arkansas has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates of chlamydia infections within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates have also shown a marked increase in Arkansas. Syphilis infection rates are contributing to the overall rise in STDs. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. These data points highlight a growing public health concern in Arkansas. Mississippi has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates rising rates of chlamydia infections within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates have also shown a marked increase in Mississippi. Syphilis infection rates are contributing to the overall STD increase. Specific percentage increases are available for each STD in Mississippi. Kansas has experienced increases in STD rates. Chlamydia rates have increased in Kansas. Gonorrhea rates have increased in Kansas. Syphilis rates have increased in Kansas. New Mexico is experiencing increasing rates of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates a rise in chlamydia infection rates within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates are also showing a marked increase. Syphilis infection rates contribute to the overall STD surge in New Mexico. These increases are quantified by specific percentage changes in reported cases. Public health initiatives are being implemented to address this concerning trend. Nebraska has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates have also shown a marked increase in Nebraska. Syphilis infection rates are contributing to the overall STD increase. These increases are quantified by specific percentage changes in reported cases. Public health initiatives are being implemented to address these rising STD rates in Nebraska. West Virginia has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases. Data indicates rising rates of chlamydia infections within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates have also shown a marked increase in West Virginia. Syphilis infection rates are contributing to the overall STD increase. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. These data points highlight a growing public health concern in West Virginia. Idaho has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. There has also been a noted increase in gonorrhea cases within the state. Syphilis infection rates have similarly risen in Idaho. Specific percentage increases are available for each of these STDs. These data points highlight a growing public health concern in Idaho. Hawaii has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases. The STDs with notable increases include chlamydia. Increases have also been reported for gonorrhea. Syphilis infection rates have risen in Hawaii as well. New Hampshire has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates have also shown a marked increase in New Hampshire. The incidence of syphilis infections is also on the rise, contributing to the overall STD increase. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs in New Hampshire. Maine, designated as State 42, is experiencing increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates are also showing an upward trend in Maine. Syphilis infection rates contribute to the overall increase in STDs. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. These data points highlight a growing public health concern in Maine. Montana has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Data indicates rising rates of chlamydia infections in Montana. Gonorrhea infection rates have also increased in Montana. Syphilis infection rates are also on the rise in Montana. These increases are quantified by specific percentage increases. The data highlights a growing public health concern in Montana. Rhode Island has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Gonorrhea infection rates have also increased in Rhode Island. Syphilis infection rates are also on the rise, contributing to the overall STD increase. Delaware, designated as State 45, has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections within the state. Gonorrhea infection rates have also shown a marked increase in Delaware. Similarly, there has been a reported increase in syphilis infection rates. Specific percentage increases for each STD are available for further analysis. South Dakota has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The increase includes chlamydia infection rates. Gonorrhea infection rates have also risen in South Dakota. Syphilis infection rates are also increasing. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each of these STDs. North Dakota has experienced increases in STD infection rates. The STDs with notable increases include chlamydia, Gonorrhea infection rates have also risen in North Dakota. Syphilis infection rates are also on the rise. Specific percentage increases are recorded for each STD. These increases highlight a public health concern in North Dakota. Alaska has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The data points specifically highlight rising rates for chlamydia. Reported cases of gonorrhea have also increased in Alaska. Syphilis infection rates are among the STDs that have risen. The data includes specific percentage increases for each of these STDs. These increases indicate a trend in STD prevalence within Alaska. Vermont has experienced increases in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. The STDs with notable increases include chlamydia. Gonorrhea rates have also risen in Vermont. Syphilis infection rates are also increasing. Wyoming has experienced increases in STD infection rates. The data indicates rising rates for chlamydia infections. Reported cases of gonorrhea are also on the rise in Wyoming. Syphilis infection rates have increased in Wyoming as well. Religious beliefs significantly shape dating practices in many regions worldwide. These influences vary widely depending on the specific religion and cultural context. Certain religions may impose strict guidelines on premarital relationships and interactions. Other faiths might encourage community-based matchmaking or arranged marriages. Understanding these religious influences is crucial for navigating dating customs globally. Christianity places a strong emphasis on abstinence before marriage. This teaching is rooted in traditional Christian views on sexuality and marriage. The impact and interpretation of this teaching can vary significantly. Differences arise based on Christian denomination. Regional and cultural contexts also influence the application of abstinence principles. Islam advocates for conservative approaches to dating. This emphasis stems from religious teachings and cultural values. A key aspect is the discouragement of premarital relationships. These guidelines aim to preserve modesty and uphold moral standards. Conservative dating practices often involve chaperones or family involvement. The focus is on building a relationship based on respect and commitment. Hinduism traditionally places a strong emphasis on arranged marriages. This practice involves families selecting partners for their children. Traditional Hindu customs also include controlled interactions between genders. These controlled interactions are often guided by cultural and religious norms. Judaism's influence varies across its different branches. These branches include Orthodox Judaism. Conservative Judaism also represents a distinct branch. Reform Judaism is another significant branch. Each branch exhibits differing levels of adherence to traditional texts. The interpretation and importance of religious icons also vary among these branches. Buddhism exerts influence indirectly through cultural norms. These norms shape societal values related to interpersonal relationships. Buddhist principles subtly permeate social interactions. This influence fosters specific relational behaviors and expectations. Traditional courtship involves established customs and practices for initiating and developing romantic relationships. These rituals often emphasize formality, respect, and family involvement. Cultural norms dictate specific behaviors and expectations during the courtship phase. Examples include chaperone dates, formal introductions, and gift-giving traditions. The goal is to assess compatibility and suitability for marriage within a structured framework. Traditional courtship often contrasts with more modern, informal dating approaches. Arranged marriages are a traditional practice in many cultures around the world. In arranged marriages, families play a significant role in selecting a partner for their child. The process often involves considering factors like family background, social status, and compatibility. Cultural and religious beliefs often heavily influence the customs and expectations within arranged marriages. Arranged marriages continue to evolve, with varying degrees of individual choice and consent involved. Modern dating apps have significantly altered the landscape of casual encounters. These apps provide a digital platform for individuals seeking various types of relationships. The app interfaces typically feature profiles with photos and brief personal information. Users can swipe to indicate interest or disinterest in other profiles. Matching algorithms connect users who have expressed mutual interest. This streamlined process facilitates easier and faster connections compared to traditional dating methods. Hookup culture is reflected in social media through posts about casual relationships. These posts often normalize short-term, non-exclusive encounters. Social media platforms can facilitate connections for hookups. The transient nature of these relationships is often highlighted. This dating style contrasts with traditional relationship models. Correlation analysis uses scatter plots to visualize relationships between variables. Religious influence can be plotted against STD rates to explore potential correlations. Commitment levels may also be compared with STD rates using a scatter plot. Each point on the scatter plot represents a data observation for both variables. The pattern of points reveals the strength and direction of the correlation. Analysis of the scatter plot helps determine if religious influence or commitment levels are related to STD rates. Statistical significance is a measure of the probability that an observed effect is due to chance. It helps determine if the relationship between variables is genuine or a random occurrence. P-values are used to quantify statistical significance. A p-value indicates the probability of obtaining results as extreme as, or more extreme than, the observed results. This calculation assumes that the lower p-values suggest stronger evidence against the. Research studies often have limitations that affect the scope and validity of their findings. One common limitation is the availability and quality of data used in the study. Insufficient or biased data can lead to inaccurate or incomplete conclusions. Cultural biases in research design or data collection can also limit the generalizability of results. These biases may arise from the researcher's own cultural background or from the study's focus on a specific cultural group. Acknowledging and addressing these limitations is crucial for interpreting study results accurately. Future research should aim to delve deeper into the identified relationships. Further exploration is needed to understand the nuances of these complex relationships. Additional studies could focus on specific aspects to provide more detailed insights. Investigating potential, moderating, or mediating factors could enhance understanding. Longitudinal studies may reveal how these relationships evolve over time. Effective HIV prevention relies on a combination of strategies. Safe sex practices, such as consistent condom use, are crucial. Regular HIV testing is essential for early detection and intervention. Open communication with partners about sexual health is vital. These strategies collectively reduce the risk of HIV transmission. Comprehensive sexual education is essential in schools and communities. It provides accurate information about reproductive health. Education covers topics like consent and healthy relationships. It helps prevent sexually transmitted infections and unwanted pregnancies. Such education empowers individuals to make informed decisions. Implement comprehensive sex education programs in schools and communities. Increase access to affordable STD testing and treatment services. Promote responsible sexual behavior through public awareness campaigns. Strengthen partnerships between healthcare providers and community organizations. Public health campaigns play a crucial role in raising awareness about STDs. These campaigns aim to educate the public on prevention methods and risks. Successful campaigns often use diverse media to reach different demographics. Increased awareness can lead to earlier detection and reduced transmission rates. Ethical considerations in data handling encompass data privacy and cultural sensitivity. Data privacy involves protecting individuals' personal information from unauthorized access. Cultural sensitivity requires respecting and understanding diverse cultural norms and values. It is critical to handle data in a way that does not discriminate against or offend any cultural group. Organizations must implement policies and practices that ensure data is collected, used, and stored ethically. Adhering to these ethical guidelines promotes trust and responsible data management. The conclusion summarizes the study's key findings. It reinforces the most important insights derived from the research. The conclusion emphasizes the necessity of a multifaceted approach. This approach integrates various strategies for comprehensive results. A multifaceted approach ensures a more thorough and effective outcome. Credits acknowledge the various sources of information used in the presented study. This includes data sources that provided the raw information and statistics. Researchers who contributed to the analysis and interpretation of the data are also credited. Organizations that supported the research through funding or resources are recognized. The credits appear as a text scroll, typically at the end of a presentation or video. This ensures transparency and gives proper attribution to all contributors.